Well, hey, happy game week. Happy first day of school. Been a tremendous camp and awesome to be at this opportunity. For everyone else, it's Monday and the week is starting. For us, we just got the field for our Wednesday. So obviously tomorrow is Thursday and, we're living in a little bit of a different reality here, but excited to, get this thing rocking and rolling on Thursday. Really pleased with the way that the guys have approached the work and excited about the opportunity that lay ahead. Obviously, Stony Brook coming in here from Long Island, tremendous team, really, really well coached. Their staff did a heck of a job coming in last year. Head man earning the FCS Coach of the Year honors, flipping that thing from 0-10 to 8-4, finishing top 25. They start the year in the top 25, have a running back that is a preseason All-American candidate, have 3 really good players along their front and their rush and their 2 backers. One kid from Carlsbad, actually, who's going to have a comb coming here that are all their defensive captains. A really dynamic group that know their identity, know it well, are true to who they are, and you can tell that they play the game with enthusiasm. They play it the right way. So excited for our fan base, excited for our community, but most importantly, excited for our team and for our staff to go cut it loose on Thursday and to put forth, a tremendous effort and to show all the hard work that we've done and, go play and go have some fun on Thursday night.
Captains you're leading this team. What about those voices spoke to you in terms of those team selections and leading the team this year?
Yeah, most importantly, it spoke to the guys, right? Our team and our players vote on that. So it wasn't necessarily me per se or the staff. The players selected those guys, and I think it's the epitome of how they go about their business, right? Like those guys have made sacrifices for the good of the program. Those guys put their teammates and leading and the standards of our program first and foremost, and they embody, when we talk about we over me, they lead in that manner, right? And they live the standard. They do it every single day. They are the definition of consistently good, not occasionally great. That resonated with their teammates, and all 6 of those guys were clearly a cut above when we tallied the total and all of it. So all very worthy and earned the honor to have that C on their chest and be called captain for the 2025 campaign here.
What do you expect the atmosphere to be like at Snapdragon on Thursday?
Raucous. Right? Football's here, right? It's we are San Diego's football team. So, I expect our community to show up and to show out and to create an advantage for us that will only get better and better as the year goes along, right? And so excited to see our community step up with us, to be a piece of the victory, to throw their fists up as we go into the danger zone and start the fourth quarter. And, again, to make it uniquely our own and for them to show their personality as well and to be as loud as they can be when our defense is out there and as quiet as they could be when our offense is out there working until the fireworks go off and we score.
Sean, does it say something special about Trey White, Napier, and the few other kids that decided not to look into the transfer portal, take money, go somewhere else? What does that say about the individuals?
Again, I think it speaks to all those guys putting the team first and foremost, right? And knowing how special the program is here and what we are building. And even a guy like Napier who did put his name in the portal and tested the water for a week, and to realize through the conversations and the interactions that he was having that the role and the camaraderie and the connection and the people that are here that he is serving and that are serving him is something that they don't want to give up. And even if there was, money that was thrown at them, all those guys that you named, whether they were in or they were not in, right, they all had opportunities, and they all had opportunities for more money than, ultimately what they're going to get here. But it's bigger than that, right? Like at the end of the day, this game is still about teaching life lessons. Collegiate athletics is still about teaching life lessons. And I still believe that you pour into the people, you put the program first, you surround everyone in the program with great people, and you do it the right way. Then whatever it is, the results that you're chasing, obviously a lot of wins that we're chasing this year, right? Opportunities for individuals at the next level, championships, and money that comes along with it, right? But if you prioritize people, you put them in an environment where they feel safe, where they feel confident, where they can be the best versions of themselves, they're going to stay here, and as long as that aligns with their ideology, and that's what we look for, with the guys that are in our buildings, what we look for through the talent acquisition process, so that we have guys that fit our environment and they fit our culture and what it is that we are building.
What's the biggest challenge when you flip the switch from camp to going to a real game?
Really, it's interesting, right? To where when you're in camp, you're installing everything. You are kind of just Rolodexing plays to get looks and to get reps. And then you really have to pivot and be really focused and really intentional about what you're carrying in the menu and the why, the intent of the why behind the call, and getting guys to pivot and to shift to where, like, okay, like, we do now have a good idea of what we're going to get on first and second down, right? This isn't just, day 10 of camp and it's install 8 and, it's just battleship offense and defense, right? Like we say B6, you say A5, and we might hit or miss. Like now it's much more intentional as we flip the page and as you get into opponent prep. The uniqueness always with early in the season, right? And with the new pieces that they have, the new pieces that we have, right? There's some things that you believe that but it's not going to be until we get into the fight there on Thursday night to really know, all right, what is it that they're doing, right? Like they have a vote and they've also been working on some things, and so are they going to stay true to who they are in all 3 phases, or what are the new wrinkles and the new problems that they're throwing at us, right? And we got to be able to solve those problems, at high speed and with great detail to be able to execute at the level that we need to.
Practice has changed a lot over the last 20 years. Is tackling one of the biggest things that is, you have to have somebody hit you before you really get going?
Yeah, I think every football player, right, like enjoys the contact. It makes us, a little bit different, right, to play this game. And so, today would be the last day that we're going to have the pads on until we get to Thursday, right? And, we've done what I feel over the course of the year. We've accumulated enough reps of live tackling, live blocking, and everything. But, yeah, when you step into that arena, especially guys that are getting their first start, like 9 of our gentlemen are going to be getting on offense, right, on Thursday night to have that first start, to get that first hit. It settles you in, right, lets you know you're alive a little bit, and then, hey, let's go to work.
What kind of step has Jaden taken since naming him the starting quarterback and kind of evolving even more into this offensive system?
Over the course of his whole time here, he's done a really good job of dialing into the details of the call, right? Like kind of equated to, maybe a new fighter pilot or so, right? To where they kind of just get their wings and they get up there and they're just kind of trying to figure out their own airplane, and their own, mechanisms in the cockpit, as opposed to like, all right, as you progress and you learn, right? Like the height of what you could possibly achieve is be so dialed into the details that the Blue Angels call you, right? And you can operate with precision with them, right? And I'm not saying that JD is there yet, right? He's far from there, but he is closer to getting that call than he is from just figuring out how to turn the engines on right now, right? And the way that we operate and the way that we go. And then because of that, right, I think all great quarterbacks and all great leaders, they use their wisdom, they use their knowledge, they use their attention to detail to then be able to serve others, right? And so because of that, JD has taken his application of what he's learned. He's been able to be a lot more vocal through this camp, and since he's been named the starter, to really help others and empower others so that everyone's where they need to be and they're on time at proper locations so that the throw game can really come to life and the details of it can take flight.
So in that regard, like, is there a wingman he has that's really stood out more than others?
Brook, right? Jordan Napier, right? Because Jordan has helped him, right, settle in, because Jordan coming into it has had – of those guys when Denny first got here, right? Like Jordan has the most institutional knowledge or system knowledge, if you will, right? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, probably early on, right, they'd go back and forth about who's Goose, who's Maverick, right? Let's just go on this Top Gun reference here, guys, right? Like, so being able to play off one another in that regard. And then, now it's been cool then to be able to see, the throw game as a whole group, and Bert as well, as you pop in random meeting rooms throughout the building, right? Like they're having their own like kind of mastermind group things where they have the call sheet and they're watching games and they're talking through, hey, what would you do if we had this call to this look? And again, like they're solving the problems together, which is really, really cool. And that's something that, again, just time on task, back in spring ball, there wasn't enough knowledge in the room between whether it was, Denegal, whether it was Bostic, whether it was, Dono, whether it was Miles Kitt Denton, like Napier and Crum were the two that had the information, right? So they were sharing, they were talking a heck of a lot more at the beginning of the year. And now, again, like the voice has shifted a little bit to the quarterback, and that's who you want leading it, that's who you want driving it. But Napier's done his part, obviously, as a leader to make sure that he's leading by example and he's upholding the standard day in and day out as well.
And last one for me, how would you define a successful sophomore season for yourself?
Improve. Be better as a leader, be better leading this program, and be present each and every single moment so that we can have greater wins as we head downrange because we handle the present day purposefully, intently, and we do it the right way to our standard.
Question about Berg Emanuel, who's dynamics. What would be special packages that are him on certain down and distance? Do you have to get him on the field?
He's a young man that we're going to continue to develop as a quarterback, and obviously with his skill set as we move and we progress, whether it be this week into the future, that we'll find a way for him to find the field and for him to make an impact in the game.
What does a guy like Morgan Mitchell mean to the team, and also Fake in general?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously Pastor Morgan has done a great job diving in with us, right? And again, like I believe in a holistic approach, right? And each one of our guys is at a different place in a different space in their spiritual journey. But I think it's my job as the leader of this program to make sure that our guys have everything that they need to become the best versions of themselves. And often that gets made into facilities, NIL, reps, scheme, et cetera. But it's also, hey, where are they with their spiritual journey, right? And making sure that there's a spiritual coach, whether it's Pastor Morgan or his father Dan who came over, right, to be able to lean in. Like this generation, guys, of young men that I'm leading, it's evolved over time. They are a much more spiritual and much more religious group than they were 7-8 years ago when I took over as a head coach. And I think that's really cool. It gives them a moral compass to lean into, and I'm going to make sure that they have the necessary knowledge and resources and an expert in that area so that they can have meaningful conversations and be fulfilled in that manner.
How does that bring you guys closer together as a team?
Yeah, it makes us vulnerable, right? And I think wherever you can be vulnerable and you can, as young men and as slightly older men, like take our masks off and be open and be vulnerable and know that there's a time and a place to do that. It makes more meaningful bonds and deeper connections. So then when it comes time to do really hard work together, you know who you're doing it with, you know who their authentic self is. And again, to have someone who's not in the storm every single day with us and has a different perspective that they can bring, I think helps facilitate those conversations and those moments in time to, again, be more focused, to be more purposeful, to be more intentional.
Is your sales pitch on unity been a lot stronger this year? Is it a byproduct of the adversity of last year? Are you different in your approach?
I sure hope so. I mean, I ask our guys to improve and compete each and every single day. And if I'm not different and if I'm not better and I'm not improving, then I'm a fraud. And there's going to be a lot of people that Kirk will point out or that you guys will point out that will say certain things about me on the message boards that I know aren't true, right? But the one thing that I'm never going to have anyone be able to say about me is that, like, I don't mean what I say and I don't say what I mean, right? And so the way that we finished was never going to be appropriate, right, and never going to be acceptable. And so there was I think at one point in time you asked me at the beginning of this deal about the autopsy of last season as the program as a whole, right? It was more standing in front of the mirror and looking at myself, right, and what we could do and how we could be better and some of the decisions that I made a year ago that probably weren't authentically true to who I was and what I believed in, right? And so getting back grounded into, who I am and what winning requires no matter where you're coaching, right? And again, doubling back and doubling down on the people, the connection, the unity, the team, and we over me is something that, we've been very, very intentional on, mostly because of looking myself in the mirror, right, and me being better so that our team is better and our program is better and I'm serving and I'm leading better, everyone that is here, and that I have the honor and the privilege to hopefully impact in a positive manner.
Question about running backs.
We've got a lot of good ones.
Well, hot running back or running back by committee, or is that to be proven by those guys?
All of the above, right? We're going to use them all. I know a lot's been made about how the majority of the carries was given to Coop a year ago, right? There's a lot of trust that I had in that young man. There's a lot of trust that I have in the 3 young men that are in the building here right now. Lucky will get the start, but Byron Cardwell and Christian Washington will get touches. They're going to have impactful role in the return game as well. So all of them will have an opportunity to, have the ball in their hands and impact the game in that way. They'll also have a positive impact in the way that the game is played with things that they do without the ball in their hand because they're unselfish individuals and they embrace that as well. But Lucky will get the start and, we'll play it out from there as we go. I'm excited about what all 3 of them bring to the team.
Miles, you went through a lot of wide receivers last year. Now you got Napier on one side. What does Denton bring? What did you see?
Speed. He's a freak, and I use that term very, very loosely. But, you're talking about a kid who has a repeat measurable 46-inch vertical. He can standing broad jump over 11 foot 4 inches, which is, like, not human, right? So he just has some genetic traits and some genetic abilities that's different, right? And so when you couple MKD with Napier, with Donovan, with Bostic, with, Mikey Welsh, and with Nate Acevedo, and, the emergence of Will Sanfrini, and we have depth of talent in that room that we're going to be able to distribute in a lot of different ways and move those guys and use them in a multitude of ways that hopefully makes, the opposing defenses and the coaches that we're going to go against, gives them some restless nights as we move and manipulate those guys around the board.
The fact that you returned so many guys defensively, continuity,
Yep.
that's huge before running.
Yeah, absolutely, right? I mean, that's probably been a big part of the reason why, they've been out ahead in the majority of these phases when we've gone to ball, because they've done so much good work together. They've accumulated, obviously, a lot of game reps together, and so, you have the complete opposite on the defensive side of the ball that I alluded to on the offensive side of the ball, right? Like, there's 2 returning starters coming back offensively. You got 10 or 11, depending on how you want to look at it, defensively, right? And so those guys got to hit the ground running, right? And they got to be the true north that, operate at a really, really high level coming out here Thursday night.
You guys will probably favored more this week than against any other team as an FCS opponent. Are there any challenges to making sure the guys don't take a team like that lightly, or do you feel like you've been able to?
No. I feel like the emphasis that we have put on our standards and who we are, has kept us really focused on what we need to do. And then the other unique thing too, Kirk, about like what we get to do, right? Like we've been talking about all this training and all this work, and everyone's really excited and everyone's here today because finally, right? Like we get to go play a game, and so it's unlike any other sport to where we get 12 days that count in this thing. Every single day that we've done since we've been back on January 20th, 2025 up until this Thursday have mattered, truly, right? But like there's only 12 days that count. And so if you can't get excited about that, I mean, like I'm getting goosebumps about it right now, and I don't even get to play, right? If I step in between the white lines, I'm going to be a 15-yard penalty, and ain't no one in the program worth that, right? But like, regardless of who happens to be across from it happens to be Stony Brook, and they're a great program, right? But it's about the Aztecs, and the Aztecs taking care of the Aztecs and doing things the right way to our standard each and every single play.
The most memorable season opener through the year?
This one. The most memorable one is always the next one, and this one's really, really exciting.
This is like flying blind. You don't really know what your quarterbacks are doing in real live fire, and they got 2 quarterbacks that have never played.
Yep.
So what's that like?
It's kind of crazy, right? It's a heck of a way to make a living, right? Like, but it's a lot of fun too, right? Like that's where you got to have confidence and you got to have conviction in the work that you've done, right? And to know, like, all right, like, hey, you got to trust them. Like at some point in time, my little ones are going to go away to school, right? And you go, hey, did we raise them the right way? Right? Did we train them the right way? I believe in our coaches. I believe in our staff. I believe in the work that we've done. And the nice thing about Thursday night is that we get to take the test with them, right? It's not going to be like if one of my kids decides to go 3,000 miles away to college and they're way over there and I'm way over here and I can't see him each and every single day. Like, all right, like he's going to go out there. He's going to have his opening drive. We're going to come back and I'm going to say, hey, let's look at this tablet. Let's talk this through. And we're going to take the test together, right? And, I kind of joke with the guys all the time. And, there's a lot of classes that are obviously starting today, right? But I hope Aztec football is one of the most challenging classes that our guys take each and every single year, right? And Thursday night's exam day. But the beauty is, like, we're all educators. Like, we get to take the test with them, right? And we get to solve the problems with them. So he's not going to be out there on his own. And, yeah, it will be his first start, but he don't need to do it all on his own. We need to help him as a staff, and more importantly, his teammates need to rally around him and, make sure that they're playing and they're operating to our standard at a high level so that he can go do what he needs to do.
Can this team make a bowl?
Hell yeah. You guys want me to elaborate on that? Yeah, I'm confident in this team. I'm confident in the work that we've done. There's something special that's brewing in this building that I'm really excited to unleash on Thursday night. And we got to do that one step at a time, right? But we all know what the standards and the expectations are around here. And it was one of the most exciting reasons why I took this job, right? And so, yeah, we have a standard to uphold, and we've been working relentlessly to get the talent in the building, to make sure that talent and the mindset is right for us to be able to go do what we're capable of doing. So hell yeah. I told Jamie on the way in I wouldn't say another word. So hell yeah, we can make a bowl game.
Hey, Sean, we were enthralled when we watched Colorado and what you did there offensively, speed, pace production, and I saw a video of what you did at Kent. How hard of a challenge is it to invoke that level of pace and production at SDSU?
I mean, each spot has its own unique challenges, right? And each place and each era, even though those were only a few years ago, right, like come with unique opportunities and opportunities that you need to solve. And I feel like we've positioned ourselves and we've acquired the talent and we've acquired the depth of talent that we need to operate and to play at that level. And I'm excited that when you turn on the tape this year and you see us on Thursday night, you go, oh, that looks like what I saw. Right, that looks like what we were excited about, and I'm looking forward to our fan base to see that as well, so that those who miss out on Thursday night because they chose not to come go, you know what, damn, I tell you what, when they're back in town against Cal, like we need to be there. That needs to be the spot to be, and there's only going to be 5 more opportunities for us to come see them at Snapdragon until we earn the right to give them a 6 at the end of the year in that first weekend in December, right? And so we position ourselves really, really well. The staff's worked really, really hard. Most importantly, the kids have worked really, really hard to embrace the identity of playing fast. Because again, like when you see it from afar, everyone like thinks like, hey, that's really neat. I want to do that. And then when you start doing the training and living the life of what it takes to play fast, then there's like, oh, well, how badly do I really want to do that, right? We got a group of guys that are in the locker room right now that love our style of ball, love our brand of play, and are eager to go play on Thursday night.
So what is the challenge to actually execute it? Is it manpower? Is it routes? Is it protection? I know it's a combination on the checklist, but what's the biggest thing that will allow you to get to what you did with the Buffs and KSU?
People, having the necessary people, necessary skill set, depth of the O-line, decision making at the quarterback position, the continuity of seeing things through the same set of eyes and doing that at high speed with a sense of urgency every single opportunity that you get on the field, and then the unique opportunity that we get to work through here is that there's the portal. Just simply matter of fact that there's the portal, right? And so continuity and seeing the throw game, seeing the run game all through the set of eyes, like that would take all of us, right? Like if I was your wide receiver and Kirk was our center and we were making Mike ID points and we want to go run as many plays as possible, as fast as possible and do that at a high level, well, that requires time on task, right? And so typically it's, you do that over a couple of years, right? Well, now it's like, all right, let's get that done in an off season so that when we get together here for the 12 opportunities that count, right, like that we can be wired and tied together and execute at a really, really high clip, right? And so that's where, again, the unique challenge of having Napier take on a leadership role to be able to say, hey, like, all right, we're going to do this. I believe in this style of play. I believe in this this staff, and for Ross to say the same, for Christian Washington to say the same, and for Joe Bourgeon to say the same things, right? Like for them to grab hold of the identity and to pull the new guys in and say, no, like this is how we do it. Let me get you onboarded quicker so we can have more meaningful, more quality reps in all that we do. Because if we're putting bad ball plays down on tape, then we're just practicing bad habits, right? And this group has done a tremendous job of learning quicker, allowing us to install more and be further along and have more consecutive days of good, high-quality reps tied together. And now that needs to go lead to elite production on Thursday night that we need to learn to continue to grow and grow and improve from as we move through the season.
Both Chris Johnson and Trey White made the Senior Bowl watch list.
Yeah.
What does that say about the leadership figures you have on the defensive side?
Yeah, I mean, again, tremendous young men, right? Like I think Trey in some list is ranked as like the highest group of 6, player in the country, right? And again, for him to believe in the program and the culture and the environment that we're building, right? For him to stay, knowing that he had other opportunities to go, speaks to obviously who he is as a young man. And I think that resonates with an NFL organization that ultimately is going to invest a lot of money in him. Like that's a young man that if I'm an NFL decision maker in this day and age where it's really, really easy, right? And everyone would accept like, oh, hey, get it, no problem. He was one of the leading, rush players in the country. Like, of course he's going to leave. But like, talk about like being different, right? Like having your production and who you are and your character, be uniquely different so that you separate and you're not just huddled among the masses. Like those two young men are that, right? And so it speaks to who they are, how they've been raised, what their priorities are, and what this team and what this place means to them, that they started something the way that all of us has probably started something in our lives, and then things got hard and we never finished it. Like, I'm guilty of that at times, right? Like I started a project, it involved plumbing, I stopped, I'm gonna call a plumber, right? Like, I didn't see it through and figure it out, right? I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna pay someone to do this, right? Those guys are like, hey, like, this is what I do. This is where I started. This is home, all right? And I'm gonna finish it. And I look forward to them finishing it with their team, right? And taking that first step in this climb to do that on Thursday night.
And knowing how bought in the team is, how does that affect your confidence going into Thursday?
Yeah, it gives you belief, right? But again, like, that's time on task with this group. It's time on task with this staff. And, you know, the constant repetition that we've had together and seeing how all the people have shown up, like, that gives me confidence. That gives me belief because of that constant repetition that we've shared consistently throughout the year. Like, I have a pretty good idea of how we're going to show up on Thursday night. Now, the lights are going to come on, and it's going to be game day, and we're going to have to respond to things that happen, because inevitably the football guys like to take your belief and your confidence and laugh at you a little bit, right? So remain humble and remain hungry as we go through this. But, yeah, I feel good about this team.
You guys lost your last 6 games last year. That's the last thing the fans remember. Your excitement is palpable. You know what's going on with your team. What's your pitch to fans to let them know that, hey, I know last season didn't end the way we wanted it to, but this is different?
It's kind of all that we've been talking about here since we kicked this thing off, right? Like, I mean, the work that we've done, again, like, at the end of the year, the buy-in, the belief within the program, if the players, most importantly, the players who are going to make the plays Thursday night, if they didn't believe in what we were doing, they would have left and they would have hit the portal, right? And so they decided in 2 opportunities that they had, when they were tampered and they were poached with and they were all the things in December, and we retained them. And then when the spring portal came around, and again, they were tampered with, and they had time to see what the changes were going to be defensively. They had time to see who their new teammates were going to be and who we brought in out of the portal and how we added talent out of the high school ranks and how we grew and evolved as a staff and how we were going to do things different and restore pride in the program and strip guys out of their colors. And I know when we did that, there was, oh, they're T-shirts. Yeah, they're T-shirts, all right? Like, you'd be amazed at what any group of individuals will do for a T-shirt when you can't buy it. Like, you can't buy that T-shirt. That T-shirt's earned, right? Like, it means a lot. There's a tremendous sense of pride that the guys have put into restoring that pride in this program that is going to be palpable on Thursday night when the people show up to Snapdragon and they see that and they see our kids play. And so, again, like, there's something special that's happening in this building. Like, we had the event at the Midway last week, and you could feel it there. Like, there's elite people in this community that we've invited to come in and have observed us and have watched it and have achieved some amazing things. And when they walk away saying, like, Coach, you got the right group of boys. Like, they're doing things the right way, right? Like, hey, how can we make it better? And you get some good feedback, and the guys respond to that. Like, I'm excited about where we're at. I'm excited to see our boys go cut it loose. I'm excited to see the physicality and the competitive nature that I had to tell the guys a little bit during camp, like, hey, whoa. Like, we're brothers here. Whoa, slow down, right? I get to say go. Like, I get to let them go on Thursday, and they need to do it the right way, right, with good competitive maturity. But I like the demeanor of this team. I like the personality of this club. Like, I like the character that they've shown and all that they've done both on and off the field, right? Like, we got a good team. Fans need to show up, and they need to support us. It's going to be worthwhile. We're going to make it worthwhile. So show up, show out, be loud, have fun, and let's make Snapdragon an unbelievable place in these opportunities that we have at home.
Last year's opener, you guys scored 3 points in the first half, but then produced 42 in the second half. Is that nerves or butterflies, and what do you glean from that, or is this just such a different team?
I think it's such a different team, right? I think it's such a different team, and again, like, there was so much movement among staff and players, both, you know, as all things were getting put together last year. So I think it's 2 uniquely different experiences, and we got to go execute. I think we got a good type plan. And again, we got to see and we got to respond to, you know, the new problems that they're going to throw at us because they get a vote as well.
Are nerves and butterflies a good thing, or do you say something to kind of tamp that down when they go into this one?
I think if you don't have nerves and butterflies, you don't care. At the minute you don't have nerves and butterflies, and you're not in that, if you're in that locker room and you're just like a bump on a log, you're in the wrong spot. Right? Like, I think, like, when used the right way, like stress is a positive thing, right? Like when you don't want to let someone down and you know that your job is meaningful, like you feel a certain kind of way. And if you didn't feel a certain kind of way about that, then it really wouldn't be very meaningful. So like, these guys are here for a lot of great reasons. They're going to get a great degree. They're going to make great friends. They're going to have an unbelievable network, but let's call it what it is as well, right? Like they're here to play elite football and to win championships. And this is an opportunity to start on the right step and off on the right foot to do that. And so, yeah, there should be a little bit of something in the subcockles, right? Like they should feel that so that they can go.
Anything else to coach?
I have one question. In talking about the right way to play the game, the last couple of games, I'm not going to mention specific players, specific teams, but I saw a lot of this after the hit where somebody's standing over, the fallen guy that he defeated. What do you tell your coaches, your players about that? Because it's a potential 15-yard penalty.
It's simple, right? Any time where something like that occurs, an individual is drawing attention to himself. We're not about that. It's we. You make a play, good job. You made the play. There was probably someone else that spilled the tackle to allow you to loop clean, right? There was probably someone that, made the quarterback tap the ball a little bit longer so that you could get a sack, right? Like there was someone that, was in the low hook curl, right, that the quarterback had to throw the ball high so you got to go get a big hit, right? There was someone else that helped you do your job, right? And so, yeah, make a big play. Go celebrate. Like, again, we do a lot of work, right? Like, so there's got to be some fun along with this as well. And making a big play is fun, but go celebrate with your brothers. And, again, that just ties back to, our belief and our ideology of we over me. Like, it's not about you. It's not about any one individual, which is why, again, like, I'm not going to step on the field so I don't get a 15-yard penalty. There's no one in this program that's worth a 15-yard penalty, right? There's the competitive maturity to play this game the right way with a high competitive spirit and with relentless competitive stamina for 4 quarters, but that doesn't mean that it's an undisciplined approach. Right? It doesn't mean that this is about me. It's about us. It'll always be about us.
Penalties was an issue early last year. How do you avoid that?
Yeah, it's been a major point of emphasis since day one, which is why, when we talk about Aztec Fast, everyone thinks and assumes that it's just about our style of play. Like, yeah, it's tied to that, but it's also an acronym for who we are and what we're about, right, and how we want our brand of football to be. So last year we talked about the F in Fast being fun, all right? Well, again, like, look in the mirror. You know what's fun? All right, winning's fun. So let's obsess about what winning requires, right? And what winning requires is a focused individual and a focused team, and that all 11 people, including the staff and everyone that's around in the shadows day to day, is focused and they're purposeful and they're intentional and their time and their effort and their energy is directed at the right point. And so if I'm focused, I make the choice, because there is no choice, to have a disciplined response to do the right thing at the right time for the right reasons. And so by doing that, it's been a major point of emphasis since January 20th, 2025. Right, we've been doing some things all through camp for all the silly pre or post snap penalties, right? Like simple stuff, right? Like no one wants to take a lap after practice. Okay, well, guess what? We had 2 false start penalties. So take 2 laps. Okay, hey, defense, you jumped off sides twice. Take 2 laps. Nothing crazy, but a subtle, simple reminders like that's a controllable that the Aztecs control. And so we're going to be focused and we're going to make sure that we're going to be on top of that, right? Does that mean we're going to play a perfectly clean game with absolutely no penalties? Like, come on, guys. Like, we know there's going to be some penalties, right? But, okay, what sort of penalties, right? There are some penalties that, hey, if someone gets beat on a double move and we have a defensive pass interference and the ball moves up 15 yards and we don't give up a touchdown, like, I'm okay with that. Like, we survived the down and distance and we're going to be all right, right? But again, like, yeah, there was some egregiously poor penalties that, okay, as I stood in front of the mirror, like, all right, who's that on? It's not on anyone but me, right? So take ownership of that. Let's change what we're focused on, right, so that it's been emphasized for, over 220 days at this point in time, right? And so we got to continue to do that when it counts and when it matters most come Thursday night.
Play some ball. It's been a while. It's been a long off season. Decided to get out there, knock some heads in, and win a football game.
Yeah. Just looking forward to hitting somebody else. It's been a long camp, been a long journey. We're always just going at it every day to the best of our ability, and just can't wait for it to be someone else on the other side.
How do you see this season being different than last season?
This season's going to be amazing. As a team, everybody's more connected. Everybody's been working their hearts out, and you can feel the energy rising, and it's going to be a lot more than 3 wins.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we're going to get a lot more wins on the board. Very successful season. We're going to be who we wish we were last year. We're going to be a dominant team. So.
The continuity of having so many experienced guys defensively back, does that make up for what happened at the end of last season when you kind of caved in, when you asked to take away so many minutes and snaps?
I think it helps a lot with the connection. I think everyone knows where everyone is at all the time. We trust each other. We rely on each other. We know we have each other's backs. And on defense, that's such a key part, having every gap filled, every role, handled. So I think it's huge for us this year.
Can this team make a bowl?
Of course.
This team's for sure going to make a bowl. I see this team making a bowl and having more than just 6 wins to be bowl eligible.
Yeah.
You guys make anything of this being the last year in the Mountain West and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think we take it as some pride in wanting to take that last Mountain West chip home with us and making a statement with it.
What do you guys see on tape about Stony Brook that makes it a challenge to face them in the first week of the season?
They made a big jump last year from the previous year. I think they were a pretty low record, and they went to 8-4 the year after. So I think they're a very improved team. They have some pieces that are very solid.
Yeah, they have some solid players on their defense. They play Oki, so we don't see too much Oki, but we've been prepared and going at it every day, worrying about ourselves, and it's going to be a good time.
What does a guy like Morgan Mitchell mean to the team, and also his faith in general?
It's huge. We take God very important in this clubhouse, and he's our leader, spiritual leader, all of that. So having him around brings us closer to the Lord.
Is Sean Lewis's approach different this year than it was that first year? Do you sense a different passion, different philosophy?
I believe so. I believe first year, I've talked about this. I think that the first year was just everybody getting to build a connection with Coach Lewis, and Coach Lewis came in strong, and everybody was still trying to get used to building that connection with him, putting all their trust in him. But this year, I feel like we've had that great connection with Coach Lewis, and a lot of players are on board and willing to put in whatever they can for Coach Lewis, and Coach Willis is willing to do the same for us. So
yeah, I think he takes a lot of pride in improving every year and finding new ways to be a great coach. I think he's done that again this year.
Brady, can you talk a little bit about DJ Herman? He's elected one of the team captains, supposed to the game. What makes him?
I love DJ to death. It's one of those guys when you're on the field with DJ, you just feel so you feel comfortable. You feel like he has your back at all times. Like one of the loudest communicators I've ever been around. A strong voice on the field. Every time we need some juice, he's always there to provide it for us.
When you talk about him being a strong communicator on the field, do you have any examples?
So on our punt team, he's our right shield, and he is our vocal leader on that team. He calls out everything. He commands us. He does the set call. He does all of it, and that's just a small piece. He plays back or two, where very vocal piece there, calling out the plays and the sets that we see.